So we received a product, a gadget that it seems more significant than usual. It's the most futuristic thing. It's not a smartphone. This is a moving, intelligent, I mean, it's a robot. Those early clips were very unpolished. It seemed far off. Oh, yeah, they're working on that, but people aren't gonna get these things. The early videos prepared you for an eventual reality that you were certain this future would happen and it was on its way, but you weren't certain of the timeline.
All right.
Shall we gather around?
That's the battery.
It's here, it's happening, it's a movie. This is a movie now. It's bigger.
Than you expect.
It's bigger. It occupies the whole case.
You're a winner.
Holy! Do you hear the motors in there? The motors are so sensitive.
What's going through your mind right now?
I can imagine it moving, but it's big. It's a big. Let's do it. Yeah. Yeah. This is one of the batteries. It's got a handle on it. It actually looks like it has a power indicator as well.
Yeah.
Now, I just noticed I almost missed this. Inside the package is a pretty elaborate looking controller. Whoa. It's like video game controller meets drone controller.
Yeah, sure.
Android. So this is running Android. Yeah, it's a full out Android device, like almost like an Android tablet. Okay. And there's a Spot application on here. Okay. Am I ready? I feel like I need a crash course over here, but the coolest moment is going to be watching it come to life. The moment at which the limp body is removed from its casket and the power switch is activated and the electricity flows from its battery, that moment right there when it stiffens up, that's the most exciting moment. All right, here we go.
Come here.
Oh my God.
His heart rate.
Oh my God. Yes, that's it. It happened. It's real. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. It's here. It's everything. I can imagine a disruption of almost every aspect of your life, every aspect of the traditional ways in which we do things. If you can create a creature that's ultimately like us, moves like us, thinks like us, you imagine it's just a question of how far ahead you want to look. It's anything a human does is where this goes. The artificial human is the eventuality.
His heart rate's spiking.
How does that make you feel, Jack?
Man, it's scary. I'm scared.
When that thing comes at you, you have a good sense of like how powerful it is.
Yes, it stopped. It'll stop. It'll stop. Obstacle avoidance. See that? Oh! I did not touch the left-right thumbstick. That was all within the unit. It did the obstacle avoidance on its own. It saw Jack and smoothly transitioned around. It's so much more dexterous in person than even the videos that you have seen in the past do justice. Like when you're in control of it, or even just physically in its presence, you immediately recognize the significance. This is not just another gadget. This is one of those bigger moments. This is gonna change a lot of things. And we're just at the door right now. We haven't even walked through the door. We're at the door, but I can already see it and feel it. So this is a big one. We've seen it march about. It's obviously incredibly sophisticated. I don't even need to see this next thing to know what this all means. We're gonna attempt to scale these stairs. That's a pretty significant set of stairs. It's gonna require some calculation on behalf of the robot to be able to effectively manage that. We can see that the robot sees the stairs right now, and just like the other settings, stairs is within there. Hop, jog, amble, crawl, stairs, walk. I'm gonna select stairs. I'll leave the speed at half, and then what? I just approach the stairs? Oh my God.
God, it's smooth like
Oh
butter.
my God. Oh my goodness. I don't know what I expected. I've seen the robot on video do that, but this is... That test right there, that does it for me. Oh man. It has zero chill as well. The speed at which it scaled those stairs, it was not scared. Oh my God.
You're downstairs right now, controlling the robot upstairs. How much confidence do you have?
Tons, because of the obstacle avoidance. So I just have a camera view. But where I might screw up and bump into something, I have confidence in its own systems that it's going to be able to navigate around them. Even here, working strictly off of the video footage, I'm still not super concerned that I'm gonna crash it, for example. I'll just bring it all the way around. I'll bring it right back to the stairs right now.
Oh my god. That is so freaky.
This is a video game. If you can play a video game, you can control this robot. I can just envision, I can imagine all of the applications for this kind of technology. I can just see it. These are just stairs. What about a terrible, treacherous terrain that a human would never want to enter? I mean, it can basically manage navigation in a similar way to a person. Developed to deal with the type of obstacles that a person would run into.
Oh my god! Oh my god! So cool! It's all electronic! It's so cool! It's so cool!
Okay, let me show you something right now.
Okay.
On this over here.
This is so cool! Oh my god, I never imagined seeing one of these.
Right, we see it as a physical object.
Yeah.
It sees it in terms of data.
That is awesome.
It can read the height.
Imagine they made one that was like unfriendly. He will go after us. Robots would rule the world then.
Oh, okay, this is actually a good moment. Spot took a tumble because it was trying to navigate this lip on these stones while at the same time there's dirt on the other side. Now what you'll see on the screen is that the robot is faulted and the self-right button becomes available, and watch Spot self-right even in that weird situation with all those plants. Look at this. Boom! Yeah! Let's see if Spot can get out of this terrible situation here. Tight plants. Yeah! Let's go! Let's go! Ho, ho, ho! Yeah! That was tough. Think about this for a second. Spot doesn't necessarily interpret this plant life as soft as it is. Those could be major obstacles. It has to do the computational stuff to figure out, okay, where can I push? How can I get out of here? And this is tight. All these plants down here, some of them high. And so you saw Spot just struggling and staying upright and eventually getting out of the situation. Impressive. When Spot takes a fall, there is a moment of kind of the parenting aspect, right? Spot, are you okay? But same time, it's so sophisticated that you kind of, part of you has confidence that Spot's gonna figure it out, which is strange to have that degree of confidence in something that's still so new. But definitely you can't detach yourself completely. It's a moving thing, and therefore you almost want to nudge it. You almost want to help it up a little bit, but Spot probably doesn't need it. This is too much, right?
I don't know. Try it.
Oh! Oh! Did you see the push? The push off to get space. Spot got nicked up. Oh man. What's weird is how at first Spot gets nicked up and you think of it as a kind of piece of technology, like you got a scratch on your new phone. But then you realize Spot is an entirely different thing that's meant to be out and active. And when you're out and active, these scrapes and bumps are just daily life for Spot. Spot is not a smartphone. Wow. Oh man. The thing to remember here is, yes, I'm controlling Spot with this remote. I can see what Spot sees and I'm sort of dictating the direction, but the calculations are happening inside of Spot. All of the sophisticated work is there when Spot has to decide through looking at an obstacle, sensing an obstacle, what's necessary to get over it or around it. I'm kind of pointing Spot in a direction, but then it's doing the math to figure out, okay, this is a rock. I'm going to approach it in this way. It's not like an RC car. I know it's kind of tempting to think of it that way. But whether I had this remote or not, if I asked Spot to go from A to B, Spot would figure out the best course of action in order to get there. Boom. Easy. Look at this. Oh, he danced through it. He danced through it. That's why it's important to look at Spot as a platform. It's fun to use the remote control, but the real eventual application is some degree of autonomy. This rail system here is capable of expanding Spot's functionality. Spot could carry cargo, could also carry a variety of sensors. LiDAR scanner, could carry a camera in order to do some kind of surveillance or to map out an interior environment. There's a variety of components that can be added to this section of Spot, or you can even go ahead and rig something up yourself because this is a relatively standardized rail system that's on the back. The idea of the robot as the helper has been around since far before the potential existed to actually manufacture it, to create it, or to execute it. If this is a technology product, and it's anything like all the other technology products we've seen, the advancement that's going to take place in the next decade is going to make the next version of it seem like a completely different thing. Well, in the same way that the smartphone I'm carrying now is nothing like the house phone that I grew up with. But what happens when it gets up on two legs? Anything a human does is where this goes. The 10-year from now version of Spot is unrecognizable, isn't it?